We live? All right, man. We are live. All right. Let's get moving here. We just got fuel. Welcome to the Joe Show. This is supposed to be episode 4. I hope I put episode 4. I hope I didn't put 3. It's supposed to be episode 4. And we just got fuel. I am on my 6th day straight working. If you watched my the last live stream I did in the middle of last week, I was off a few days because of Hurricane Dorian, right? So now I'm trying to make up for the time I missed. So yeah, man. So I got today and tomorrow, working today and tomorrow, and that'll be my 7-day stretch. Showman Blues, how are you, sir? A big howdy, my friend. A big howdy to you. I hope the signal will be okay here. I got to go through a pretty screwed up area right down the road here, so if it drops, I hope it'll reconnect. There's my son, Nathan. What's going on, buddy? You're going to be in this story. You remember this story that I'm about to tell because you were with me when it happened. But I want to get past this bad area down here. When I get close to the interstate, I'm on Highway 11, son. You know, I just left the Spinks in Gowensville. And I got to get down here and cross 176 and cross that bridge to get to 26. And when you get to 26, everything's fine. But I know it's going to drop between now and that one point. So I want to kind of hold off on my story and just give time to get in here. I know people are still at work or they're on the way home from work. So we can just chit chat until it's story time. So hopefully my audio is coming through really good. These headphones I got from Amazon, they were $14, I believe. So I'm very happy with them. You plug them up to your phone, you know, and don't have to worry about charging nothing up and all that good stuff. Let's see. My brother Jim Guidry is in the chat. Give it up. Jim Guidry's in the chat. The master rhythm player from Shreveport and formerly of the Blind Tiger. Jimbo, man. My man Jimbo had a rough night last night. Rough day yesterday. He got broke down. He had to do some driving. He got broke down and he was able to get some help finally. And I was broke down a couple of nights ago. I got broke down on the way to the beach. And I was set there for over 2 hours waiting to get fixed. Am I drinking any Ripple on the way to work? No, I'm not, son. I'm not. I think Showman had a comment. Let's see. Showman says, it's all good here, sir. So far, so good. Signal. If you drop, I'll check back. Yeah. If it starts to have the spinning circle or something like that, just go out of YouTube altogether and come back to this show. Like I said, it's going to drop right down in here. It's going to drop. Is that Mr. Bruce, man? My main man, Mr. Bruce, in the chat, man. Long time no see, buddy. It's so good to see you in the chat, man. And UPS is stopping right here in front of this house. Is that Shumbera? Look at that, man. He just going to stop right in the road, man. Oh, he's going back in. All right. Is that proper etiquette? I guess it is. He had his full ways on, but I was just like, what in the world? Let's see. Jim says, am I drinking? No, I'm not drinking. I'm telling the truth. You know you a badass guitar player, man. So, yes, today, Wednesday, 9/11. And I just noticed that as the years click off, man, time goes by, people seem to not reflect as much on 9/11. And I know this chat is covering my face, but that's okay. It's not good to look at anyway. So maybe that helps, you know. That motherfucker's ugly. Make that chat. Somebody comment. Cover his face up. Shit. But the story I want to share, I've shared it before on this channel, but I know we've got some new subscribers lately. and they probably haven't heard the story, you know. And it's something that I've always liked to ask people where they were when 9/11 happened. What were they doing? Because, you know, if you were, it's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. It was a life-changing event. It was, history was made on that day, right? But Mr. Bruce says it's great to be here, man. It's great to have you here, sir. Very much appreciate it, my friend. All right, we're coming up to this light. Let me turn the camera around, and you can see what I'm seeing. You see there? We got we're gonna come down here, and whoa, dude! Holy smokes! I should be able to do a close-up view, so it should be me one more time. And the close-up view. There we go. I haven't used the YouTube app in a long time. I was like, when did they do this? So we're going through a small town right here called right here. And you better go 40. Because right down at the bottom of this hill is where my signal usually drops. When I get to this bridge. And there's usually a cop sitting to the left. There it is, 40 right there. Pardon my French, but they do, man. So I watch myself. There it comes. Crossing over the river right now. Oh my God, we still holding? Oh, that's good. See, now the speed limit drop. Yeah, the drop. It picks back up to 55 now. Okay. So damn. Give me a thumbs up in the chat, man, if y'all are still here. That way I know you're here. Give me a thumbs up. Pretty please. And the closer I get to the interstate right here, the better off we're going to be. That guy just pulled right out in front of me, man. Look at him going slow. What in the world? Alrighty. $2.19, dummy. $2.19. You know, it's funny, son, that the highway I take to cut across from 501 that helps me get over to the Myrtle Beach branch. You know what highway number that is? 319. 319. And I thought about that. Thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Mr. Bruce. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, let me we're almost at the interstate. Let me get there, and then I know we'll be in great shape. We should be. Who the hell knows? Beautiful day today, Wednesday. It's freaking hot here in South Carolina. It's it actually dropped a degree. I can't believe it. It's 89. It was about 92, 90, 92, somewhere around in there. Humidity is out through the roof, man. I think it's safe to say that I've had enough of summer. I'm ready for fall. My son says it says 95 in his car. Yeah, it's I think as I'm going through this shade right here, it's giving him a cooler reading. But yeah, it's been hot, man. Hot, especially over in where my son and I live in that area. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like an oven out there. It's just freaking ridiculous. What are these people doing, man? We done slowed down to 30. What in the world? Come on now. You just left Guitar Center. Oh, God. Uh-oh. You just left Guitar Center. I don't want to sing nothing. Give me A flat. Oh, man. All right, we're almost at the interstate. Here we go. We're getting there. You can see where it says I-26 right there. Come on, people. My God. You got a Kurt Cobain signature model. I tell you what, when you get that thing at the house, go outside and light your grill and put that son of a bitch on the grill and burn that son of a bitch and make a video of it and send it to me. I know good and well he ain't got no damn Kurt Cobain signature model. I raised that boy better than that. Come on now. Oh, shit. Okay. Story time is about to begin. So if it gets choppy down through here, I apologize. My story about 9/11. I remember this very well because 9/11 in 2001 happened on a Tuesday. And back then, my work schedule, I was off on Sundays and Tuesdays. Those were my 2 days off back then. Well, on this particular day, I had to take my son, who's in the chat, Nathan. I had to take him up to my parents, where they live up there in North Carolina. And I think I was going to let him play hooky for a couple of days because, you know, school hadn't been started back for long. Maybe school wasn't even quite started back yet. I don't know. I can't remember what the deal was. But I'm sure it had started back, but we just let them skip, you know, hang out for a few days. There was something going on. So I was going to take him up there and drop him off. And it was like, you know, like a 3.5 hour drive. Back then, my schedule, my work schedule, wasn't nothing like what it is now. Now it's like all I do is work and sleep. Back then, the runs I was doing wasn't nothing like what I'm doing now. I was working like 8-hour days, had plenty of time to be in a band. All right, Mr. Bruce, thanks, man. Check back later, man, for the story. You might already know the story. Anyway, so I had time to be in a band and all that stuff, unlike the present tense. So I was taking my son up the road, up the interstate, up I-40. You can see me fine, Chum? Thank you, man. I was going up I-40, and my son was sitting over here. He had you remember the little personal CD players? He had his headphones on, and you know, he was listening to a CD. And back then I had a Ford Ranger. It was my old green Ford Ranger. It was a 95 Ford Ranger. And I was just driving in silence. I didn't have the radio on or nothing. He was over there listening to his music, whatever. And I got kind of bored, so I hit the button for the radio, and I already had the radio tuned to a news station out of Charlotte. And like for the first 10 minutes, it was just regular news and sports and all that, you know, your average crap, you know. And then all of a sudden they say, hey, we got a report, you know, of a plane hitting one of the towers, World Trade Center tower. I didn't know what they was talking about, you know. And then they went into more detail about it, but all the reports were all sketchy, you know. They didn't know, you know, did he just clip something? And I didn't know it was one of the skyscrapers. I thought it was just like a bank office or just a regular building. And I thought that maybe it was like a private little, you know, 2-seater plane, you know, like, and maybe they hit the antenna on the building. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, how does a plane hit something to have anything to do with a building and broad daylight? Not to mention it was a beautiful day. Wasn't bad weather. It's a gorgeous day like today, you know. And I was like, man, that's kind of weird. And so reports were kind of in and out like that. And then, as you know, a little bit of time passed by, and then the other tower got hit. And then it was just pandemonium on the radio. And I looked at my son, and I went over there and I got his attention. I grabbed him. I shook him on the shoulder. I said, hey, son, take those headphones off and listen to this, because this is something you'll remember the rest of your life. Kind of like when my dad was young, kind of like when Kennedy got assassinated. It's kind of on that level, you know. I mean, it's not kind of, it is. It was a tragic event. A lot of people lost their lives. Innocent people lost their lives for no freaking reason, you know. I got pixelated for a minute. Oh, yeah. And I'll read your comment just a minute, Mr. Showman. Hang on just a second. And so I had my son take his headphones off, and we were listening. And what was really freaky, Nathan, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I do. What was freaky was at that moment, and after the two towers were hit, and then a little bit more time passed by, the other plane went down in that field, and then, the Pentagon got hit, man. I said, man, we're being attacked. We're being attacked, man. And we was on the interstate, my son and I, and for maybe a minute and a half, I was looking around, and there was nobody around. There was nobody behind me. There was nobody in front of me, and there was no traffic coming the opposite direction on the other side of the interstate. Nobody. You talk about a Twilight Zone moment. I felt like for that brief minute or two that me and my son were the only two people on Earth. It was a scary feeling. I can't describe it. I've never had that feeling in my life. So we're listening to all this come through the radio, and we're just kind of like, what is going on? And by this time, you have to remember, I haven't seen any video footage of anything. So I immediately get my cell phone. It was a flip phone back then. And I called my mom, because that's where we were heading to my parents. My dad was at work. And I called my mom, and I said, do you know what's going on? Are you watching the news? And she said, you would not believe what is happening. So she was trying to describe to me what she was seeing on the news when the towers were engulfed in flames and smoke and all that. And I was like, oh my God. She said, you'll just have to see it when you get here. Where you at? And then we were still like a good hour and 10 minutes away. So we finally got there, and my mom, they were living in a camper. Do you remember watching the video I did at the campground where I said, this is, where it all began? And if you watch that video, you see that shot where I said, this is my mom and dad's old camper. That was the camper they were living in at the time. And she opened the front door, and she's like, y'all get in here. And me and my son, we ran up in there, and she goes, y'all sit down. She had the TV on. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it was a movie. I was like, what? And, as they say, the rest, I was heading to my parents with my son. I was going to drop him off there for a few days and then come back and get him. And, it wasn't long after that experience, along with millions of other people. It wasn't long after that experience I went and bought a handgun. I went and bought my first gun, .357 Magnum. I still got it today. I went into a pawn shop, and I never had bought a gun ever in my life. Didn't even own a gun, and I got some now. I can tell you that. But at the time I didn't own a handgun or nothing. Shotgun, anything. And went to a pawn shop. Here comes a state trooper. God damn, why is this guy slowing down in front of me so fast? What are you doing? This guy's going like 50, and here comes a state trooper about to blaze past me. This is how you cause wrecks, man. Look at this. This is ridiculous, man. Some older dude going 50 on an interstate where it's supposed to be 70, man. What was I saying? Hey, Pooh Ninja, what's going on, man? I'll get to these comments shortly. I'm not going to forget about you. So after 9/11, I was saying I went to a pawn shop and I bought my first handgun, because I was like, 9/11 had just happened, and I was like, the hell with that. I don't know what's about to happen. I gotta need some protection. So I walked in there, and man, they have pawn shops everywhere in the area were selling the hell out of guns. I imagine that was all over America. So I went in there, and the guy standing behind the gun counter goes, hey, how you doing? Can I help you? And I saw that .357. And I said, I'd like to buy that gun. And he said, okay. And he got this paperwork out put it on the thing. And he said, you need to fill this out. And I said, okay. He said, it's a background check. I said, oh, okay. He goes, everybody has to do this. I said, okay. I said, how long does that take? And I don't know why, but I never will forget this. He said, it depends on what kind of person you are. That's how he said it. It depends on you. Do you have any felonies? Do you have a record? I said, no, I don't have a record. I said, nah, man. I always held this. I said, nah, man, I work for a living. I ain't on the street trying to hustle anything. He goes, well, it doesn't matter what you tell me. This is what he said. It doesn't matter what you tell me. The background check will tell everything. And it'll prove if you're telling the truth or not. I said, not a problem, man. I said, okay. So I filled it out. And I said, how long will it take? He said, it can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 5 hours. I was like, 5 hours? So I was expecting to be there for quite a while. I wasn't going to wait no 5 hours. But I was expecting to be there for a while because, he said that they were real busy lately because people were buying a lot of guns. And that state trooper just pulled somebody over, man. Let me do another view. Hang on a second. Hang on. Look right here on the right. He done got somebody. What in the world? Oh, must be a wreck up here or something? What is going on? Oh, nah, there's something happened up here. Look. Right here. He's pulling that person over. Maybe something happened with that truck. I don't know. Anyway, so I filled out the background check information, the paperwork. He said, I'll be back. Hopefully in a little bit. If it's going to take a while, I'll come out and tell you to get comfortable, whatever. And I was like, okay. He went back in the back, and it was 2 minutes, man. It was like 2 minutes. He come back as, you're good. What do you want to buy? I said, I want that 357. And so I got the gun, and I bought a case of bullets, hollow points and stuff, And I remember also in 9/11, right after that, people had those flags on their vehicles with the flag sticking up, and it was everybody was real patriotic. And I remember there was vendors out here on the corners, on some of these street corners at some of these main intersections that were selling shirts, and it had a bullseye on what's his name? What was it? Not Saddam, but that other guy. God Almighty, I'm drawing a blank. That turban wearing piece of crap had his damn face on there with a bullseye, and it said, wanted or something or whatever, And Bin Laden, thank you very much. Yes, I couldn't remember his name. Thank you. And so I was like, I thought that was I understood it, but in a way, I thought it was kind of wrong that somebody's making money off of a tragic event. I was like, why is somebody trying to make a fast, quick buck off of all these innocent people that lost their lives, man? But at the same time, I was like, yeah, I hope they do catch that son of a, and of course they did. Well, they told us they did, but so I just remember that, man. I remember, going to my parents with my son and dropping him off and seeing all that on the news, and it was the most craziest experience I've ever had in my life, man. Just unbelievable. But I just wanted to share my story because, I don't know how many people are doing that today. I don't know if they're doing it on YouTube, whatever. I don't know if there's going to be people talking about their stories. It seems to me, you would see it on TV every year. They would always show the famous clips of what we all have ingrained in our memory from that day. If you're old enough to retain that, But it seems like I said, after every year passes, it seems like the attention gets less and less, which I guess that's normal, I don't know. But it's just my 2 cents, and that's my story. I just thought I'd share my story with people, man, that maybe didn't know. I'm almost at work, and I'm going to read these comments. and it's just hard to read them going down the road unless it's like just a couple of words, you know. So we're going to hit these comments up real quick because I'm not going to leave nobody hanging. We don't do that here on the Joe Show, man. We don't do that on this channel. We always try to respect the people in the chat and thank them for being here. And thanks for watching and all that good stuff. So let me get parked right here. Yeah, I got to work yesterday, man, and my load wasn't ready. I had to wait another hour before my load got ready. It was ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Okay, let's get parked right here. Let's get parked, and we'll look at this chat here real quick. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. Hope things are going well for you. Okay. Get all this stuff off. Let's look at the chat real quick, man. Let's see. Bruce had to go. He said to eat dinner. I totally get it, man. My day's just starting, and a lot of people are winding their day down. I totally get it. Showman Blues says, I watched the TV all day covering everything about 9/11. It did reinstill the severity of the attack. I think we tend to look at it as a horrible happening. It was it was planned and successful attack. Yeah, it was. They had their ducks in a row on that one, didn't they? It was horrible. That's all right though. Things changed soon after, did they not? Showman Blues also chimes in. It's a beautiful day there. I guess he means where I'm at. 89 is nice. Sounds like your weather is about to. Sounds like your weather is like mine. 95. The temperature and the humidity is 95. I got algae growing on my car paint. Oh my goodness, man. Pooh Ninja says it was crazy once the second plane hit. Wasn't a question. We were being attacked. Man, I'm telling you. Pooh Ninja says, I'd much rather you be safe than read my idiot comments. Nah, man. Nah, dude, it's all good. It's just, you know, it's just when you're driving, you know, you have to just be a little bit more careful. Now we're going to get ready to get my stuff in this truck, man, and we'll just take you along for that, and then we'll call the end of the show here, right? But yeah, that was a sad day, man. Definitely a sad day. And I hope nothing ever happens like that again. You know, of course nobody does. Who the hell would want to see that happen again? That's insane. But you know, we picked up the pieces and we moved forward. You know, rebuilt, stronger now. And my heart goes out to the people, man, that even today, 18 years later, that lost loved ones in 9/11. You know, all those firefighters, man, and the emergency personnel. You know, it's just, it was rough. But that's my story for 9/11, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Thanks for the comments. Until next time, this is Joe for the Joe Show. And y'all be safe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.